Remember we were building this together? So let's get back to it. So we're back with the second part of how I'm building the battle system for my game, the turn-based battle system for Spaceman Memories, and let me tell you, this has been an insightful process. Also, friendly reminder, this is a tutorial slash devlog as the last video. These are long ones as I explain things thoroughly, but if you wanna watch something that is much shorter about other stuff, you can go into the channel and watch those other videos. But if you wanna go into how the code works, stay in this one, okay? Alright, enough of that. So as I was saying, coming back to this code has cleared up my mind in many ways, as I had forgotten how I had built some of this stuff, how I had coded some of this stuff, and it's been a fun process coming back to it and teaching how it works. So let's get back into it. Okay, so we're gonna start with the enemy and the enemy HUD because that's where we left off. So let's go here and let's go inside the canvas. Let's select the player HUD and the player, and easy peasy, we're just gonna duplicate Command D or Control D in Windows. Okay, so there it is. We're gonna change its names, enemy, and this one is gonna be enemy HUD. Okay, so now we're gonna move them to their respective positions. Let's go here. There it is. Let's select the enemy, and there it is. So now we can change the sprite because this doesn't look right. So let's go into the source image here in the enemy and let's select this one. Okay, so it seems a bit blurry, a bit fuzzy, so we gotta fix that. Going into the main image, let's go into sprites. Let's select the image. We're gonna use 32 pixels per unit. We're gonna go into filter mode. Remember, point no filter because it's pixel art. And compression, we're gonna go into none. And we're gonna apply it, and there it is. There it is. Great. So we're gonna put it in the correct position. Let's select the enemy. Let's see if, yeah, right there. Okay, so now we've got a nice HUD here for the enemy, a nice HUD here for the player, an enemy sprite and a player sprite. But we can't send any info yet from the enemy or to the enemy HUD because remember, we haven't added in the battle manager, we haven't added the units, the battle unit for the enemy and the battle HUD for the enemy. So we gotta do that for this to start communicating. Okay, so we're gonna press play to see what happens. We're gonna wait for it to load, and there it is. Nothing is happening. We've got no info here about this, and as you can see, it's a bit too much on the top. So we're gonna move these things a bit down. Okay, so we're gonna stop this, and as you can see, here is the line of the screen, okay, of the camera we're using, and it's saying that this is going out, so we're gonna move it to the right place. So a bit like right there, and we're gonna select the enemy, we're gonna move it a bit like right there, and we're gonna scale it a bit to go inside the space. Okay, great. So now let's go into play mode to see how this looks, and now it looks much better. Okay, so we're gonna stop this, we're gonna fix this because don't worry if you're seeing these errors. These errors happen when you're selecting something that is inside the canvas and you press play. You're gonna get these errors. It has nothing to do with the code we've written. Okay, so don't worry about that. If you clear them, and as you can see, I had selected this, so that's why I was getting this error. But if I unselect it before going on into the play mode, if I go into play mode, you're gonna see that that doesn't happen. Okay, so we're gonna fix this because we don't want to see this Charmander here, so we don't have any issues with Nintendo. Okay, so we're gonna stop this and let's select the player. Let's go back into the player, and we have the source image. But as you remember, we're using here the Hideo Kojima scriptable object. So let's go and see what is the back sprite for the Hideo Kojima scriptable object. So let's go into scripts, let's go into creatures, let's go into the scriptable object, let's see the back sprite, and there it is. Let's see what's happening. We have here the back sprite, it's correct. So let's see if the battle unit says that it's not a player and it's showing the back sprite or the front sprite. Okay, so let's go into the front sprite. Yeah, it says it's going to the front sprite. So let's go into the player, let's select it, and here it is. It's not player, it's not marked as player, so we are going to be seeing that front sprite. So we need the back sprite. So let's select is player, let's go into play mode, and there it is. Okay, so now let's go, and we're gonna go into the battle manager to start coding the boxes to where we can add the enemy HUD and the enemy battle unit. Okay, so let's go and find the battle manager script. Let's open it, and here we're gonna add some variables. Okay, we're gonna add some variables first. I'm not gonna speed this up because this is little information, just 2 lines, no, 4 lines to make this work. So I'm gonna write it, and we're going to go in normal speed. Okay, so we're gonna start here. Serialized field. We need a battle unit, a class of battle unit, and this is gonna be the enemy unit. Okay, and we need another serialized field, and we need a battle HUD. It's the same as the one we had, but this is gonna be the enemy HUD. Okay, so now we've got that. And also here in the method, the function of setup battle, we need to set up the data for the enemy. Okay, so let's go here and add it, and we're gonna have a, as you remember, we have the variables enemy unit, and inside the enemy unit we're gonna find the setup creature method, and now we go into enemy HUD, and we're gonna go into the set creature data. And what is the argument that this needs? This needs the battle unit for the enemy. So what is its name? We need the enemy unit, and inside the enemy unit we need what? The info of the creature. We're gonna get the name and the info from there. Okay, so we're gonna go inside the enemy unit and inside the creature class. Okay, great. So we're gonna save this, and we're gonna go back here. We're gonna select the battle manager. Let's wait for it to load. Okay, we got an error. Okay, great. I lost that semicolon. Okay, let's save this. Let's go back in here. So yeah, loaded. We cleared this, and let's go into the battle manager. Great. So now we have here, we can add the enemy unit and the enemy HUD. And let's drag the enemy unit and now the enemy HUD. Great. So now, after doing this, we should get the info from the scriptable object of the enemy here. We should get the name, and we should get the level. Okay, so let's see. Let's go into play mode. We wait for it to load, and there it is. We have a Hideo Kojima level 5. So we don't want a Hideo Kojima level 5. So we're gonna change that. Let's go into the enemy and let's find a new scriptable object. We have this new Scrix Marauder. It was an enemy I created, a random name I created, and it's gonna be a level 5, it says. So let's see if it's updating the level or if we have to fix it. Okay, so this is not a player. So let's hit play. Let's wait for it to load. And we're getting an error. Yeah, the same error I told you. I have that selected. Let's go back into play. So there it is, Xcrix, okay? And it's a level 5. Let's see if we change it. If it's gonna update, let's set it to level 10. Let's go into play. And there it is. There it is. We have the level 10. This one is level 5. Don't worry about this error. It's because I had selected this before going into play mode. So let's clear this. Let's stop this. And now we've got the two HUDs updating the info, and we have the scriptable object of updating the info of the enemy and of the player. So now we're gonna go and we're gonna start building the battle system per se, how it works and what happens when you press one thing and what happens when the battle starts. So first we have to create the health bar. Okay, we need the health bar, so we're gonna go to create that first, and after that we're gonna go into creating the system to write the text. Have you seen that in this type of games the text was written letter by letter? So we're gonna build that system after we start building the basic script for the health bar. Okay, so let's go into that. Okay, so now let's go into building the health bar, and we're gonna start with adding some images. We're gonna need 3 images, one for the health bar image, one for its background, and one for its border. Okay, so let's go into the canvas or the player HUD. Let's go into player HUD, and inside player HUD, let's add an empty object that is gonna carry these 3 images, as I said. So let's go into create empty, and this is gonna be named HP bar full. Okay, great. So after that, inside this, as I told you, let's go into UI. Let's add 3 images. So let's duplicate this. 1, 3. Okay, so let's name these ones. The first one is gonna be named uh, health bar. Okay, the second one is gonna be named health bar BG background, and this one is gonna be named health bar border. Great. Okay, so now let's assign the image for the health bar, and let's go into the sprites folder, and let's select here the health bar, and let's drag it into the source image of the health bar. And now there it is, it's assigned, but we can't see it because we got this one on top of the other. Okay, so let's put this one right down here, and now as you can see, when we moved it here in the hierarchy, we can see it on top. Okay, so now we've got it. So it seems a bit funny, right? It seems a bit funky, doesn't look right like we would like to. So remember, when we import this type of images, we gotta select the set native size here. So if we select that, there it is. Okay, so it's a bit small, and that has something to do with how we configure the image here. So let's select here in the pixels per unit, and let's go and set it to 32, filter mode, point, compression, none, and let's apply it. Okay, so now let's select another time the health bar, and let's set it another time to set native size, and when we click it, there it is. That's the size that we want. Okay, so we're gonna scale it up down a little bit, just a little bit, to put it inside the HUD, and let's hold shift. Okay, so let's move it to its right place, like yeah, around there, like around there. Okay, so let me scale it a bit like here, because remember, here we're gonna have the numbers for the health points that this creature has currently. Okay, so now great, we have that. So let's select the other ones, the health bar border and the health bar background. Let's put this one on top of the other. So I'm gonna scale this like around there. This one, the health bar background, is exactly the same size as the health bar, as the sprite of the health bar, because this is gonna show when we start reducing the health, we need this color to show up. And now let's select this one, let's scale it. This is gonna be a bit bigger than the health bar, because as I said, this is the health bar border. So let's set this one at around here. Okay, because here we're gonna have the numbers for the health. Okay, so now let's select the health bar again, and this is very important, because if you don't do this, you're gonna have issues, okay, with this system. So you select the health bar and go into the inspector and into pivot. In the x-axis, you're gonna set it to 0. Why? Because right now, if we scale this bar, for example, let's try the width. If we scale it, you see it goes to the two sides. So we need to move the pivot point to here to scale it just from here to here. Okay, so here in pivot in x-axis, we're gonna set it to 0. And now if you scale it, the width, yeah, there it is. That's what we need. Okay, so great. Now we're gonna go into scripting the first part. This is just the first part of the code for the health bar, so we're gonna go and script that. Okay, so we're in the scripts folder, and let's go and create a new script. Okay, so we're gonna name the script health bar. Great. And now we're gonna assign the script to the object of the HP bar full. Okay, not to the health bar, but to the full object that encapsulates the three pieces. So let's select it and add it as a component. Great. Okay, so we're gonna remove this, duplicate it. Great, so we need it there as a component of this object, HP bar full. So let's go into editing it, and we're gonna erase this, and we're gonna start coding. And first, we need a variable for our health bar, okay, the blue one. So we're gonna name this health bar. Great. And now we're gonna need a function, and this is something that you have to pay attention, because if you don't do this right, you're gonna get issues there. So we need to normalize the value of the scale of the health bar. We need a value between 0 and 1. Okay, that's the value that we need to scale the health bar. If we go above 1, the health bar is gonna scale way too much on the x-axis, on the width. Okay, so we need to normalize the value, and that's why we're gonna use a variable named normalized value, and we're gonna make an operation in another script. You're gonna see how it works, but first we're gonna do that. Okay, so let's go, and we're gonna create a method called set health points, and we're gonna, as an argument, we're gonna put a normalized value. That's gonna be the name. It's a number. It's a value. Okay. So now here we're gonna go into the health bar object. We're gonna go into its transform. We're gonna go into its local scale, and we're gonna change the value of the x. Okay. So we're gonna assign it here. We're gonna go into new vector 3. Let's open parentheses. We're gonna make this window a bit bigger so we can see everything. Great. So what do we need here in the x value? We need the normalized value, the variable we're using there on the top on the method. And on y we need 1, and on c we need 1. We're not gonna scale those values, so we can even leave this without the c. It doesn't matter. It works with just two numbers. So we're gonna add the semicolon, and we're gonna save this. And now let's go back into Unity. Let's select the HP bar full, and we're gonna let's go. Let's see. We don't have the health bar component here. So okay, so this was private. So let's add. It's gotta be public or it's gotta be serialized. So we're gonna put it as public. We're gonna save it. We're gonna go back into HP bar full, and there we're gonna see the space for the health bar. Okay, so here we drag our health bar and we put it here. Great, that's what we needed. Okay, so now to see if this works, we need to start connecting this, because we aren't calling this method, the set HP method, anywhere. So we need to connect it to the HUD. That's where anything that has to do with it is going to be coded. So let's go into the player. Let's see. Let's select the player, and there it is. We have the battle unit. No, let's go into the battle manager. So yeah, we need this script, the battle HUD for the player. So we're gonna open this. Great. So now we're gonna edit this, and we're just gonna add one line, two lines stops, and this is gonna work. So we're gonna delete this one. If you had this one deleted, we're gonna add it way later, not now. So you can delete that line right now. And now we're gonna assign the health bar here too. So we need a public of what class? Of the health bar. Of the health bar class. Okay, there it is. It's gonna be called health bar also. Now we're gonna save this, and we're gonna assign it. So let's delete this. Get no errors. Great. We can come back to that later. Okay, so we're gonna go into the player HUD. We go into its inspector, and there it is. We have a space for the health bar. We're gonna drag it there too. So we cannot drag. If you drag the health bar, the blue one, and you try to put it there, it's not gonna let you. Okay, why? Because the script says that this has to be of the class health bar. Who has the class health bar? The full object. Okay, so this is the one that we're gonna drag right now. Okay, so let's select the player HUD, and let's drag the health bar, and there it is. Now we assign it. Okay, so let's go back into the battle HUD script. There it is, and now we can start using the method we just created. So let's go, and we're gonna go into health bar, and inside health bar we have the method, remember, set HP, and here we can try any value. Let's try 50. Let's try 50F. Okay, let's try 50F, and we're gonna save this, and we're going to go back to Unity. We're gonna try it. Let's try it. Let's go into play mode. Okay, we're gonna wait for it to load, and you see what happens when I put a value that is too big. It goes right outside. Okay, so let's try a value of 0.5. Okay, let's go back into the script. Let's go into Battlescott hot script. So let's try 0.f. Let's save it. Let's go back into Unity. Let's not select anything. Okay, let's hit play. And you see now we have it in the middle part. It's half. So that's why we need that normalized value that I was talking about earlier. Okay, so we're gonna stop this. We're getting an error. We're gonna see what is happening. Null references exception object reference. Okay, we're gonna clear that, and we're gonna click it. And where are we getting this? It says that we aren't using the values that we need to use. Okay, so let's try this. Let's use it as we have to. Okay, so remember, we're gonna try this. We're gonna go into the creature HP health points, and we're gonna divide it by the creature max health points, and that is how we get the normalized value to make this work in the right way. Okay, so we're gonna save this, and we're gonna go back to Unity. We're gonna clear this error. We're gonna hit play. We're gonna wait for it to load, and there it is. Now it's working. Now it's working. Okay, we need it right there. This is just going to move when we start making the math of decreasing the health points of one or the other. Okay, so let's stop this to see what this error is. Okay, health bar, set HP, creature HP. Great, creature. Okay, so we got this error, and I figure out why we were getting this error. When you click it, when you click, sometimes the error sends you referencing to the line that is telling you that is doing something wrong, something clunky. So when I clicked it, it sent me to the BattleHUD script in line 17, but there's no error there. So what we gotta do is read this, and it says the error that the object reference not set to an instance of an object, null reference exception. And this is because if you remember in the battle manager, we are calling that method, the set creature method that is inside the battlehut method, the class. Okay, and we are saying in the battle manager, I need you to set me up all of the info of the enemy. But if you can remember, the enemy has no health bar right now. So it's trying to create something that doesn't exist yet. So for now, we can comment these two lines, just these two, and we're gonna save it. We're gonna go here, we're gonna save it, and we're gonna go back to Unity. We're gonna clear this up, and if you go and click play, wait for it to load, and the error is gone. That's why you're getting that error, in case you were getting it too. So it's gonna fix itself when we create the health bar for the enemy. But we're not gonna create that yet. Let's keep building this part, the part of the player, and we're gonna get back to that later. Okay, so we're gonna stop that, and now we're gonna go into building the text for the dialog box, the text that goes here. We're gonna build that. Okay, so let's go into coding that. So let's start by editing some stuff around here. This dialog box is gonna be named battle dialog box. Okay, a much clearer name. Okay, battle dialog box. Great. Now inside this one is gonna go everything, all the way from the attacks to the action selections, the attack description, everything, okay? But first we need obviously the text that goes inside here. So we're gonna go here, right click, and we're gonna go into UI legacy text. Okay, so we're gonna be using text, and this is gonna be named battle dialog text. Great. Okay, so now we go into the Explorer. We're gonna create a C# script, and this is gonna be named battle dialog box. Great. And you obviously know which object you're gonna assign this script to, the battle dialog box object. Okay, so let's find this one and drag it to battle dialog box, and there it is. Now we have our script. So let's go into this one, let's open it, and we're gonna start writing some stuff. First, we need the text. Okay, so serialize field so we can access it on the inspector. This is gonna be a text, and we don't see any text. So remember, you have to add the library of using Unity engine.ui. So using Unity engine.ui. Great, there it is. Okay, so now we can use the text. There it is, and this is gonna be the dialog text variable. Okay, so we're gonna save this. We're gonna go back to Unity. We're gonna go into inspector, and we're gonna assign our text. So drag it. Let's go and drag it. Okay, let's go back into the script, and now we're gonna start coding the function that gives us the flexibility or the cool feature of writing character by character. We don't want this text that goes inside the game to write itself boom in one line. Okay, we want it to go character by character, like in the classic games. So this is a great opportunity to start using coroutines, which are other type of functions in C#, in Unity. I really don't know if they exist in other languages, but in C#, they work like a functions that run themselves in an independent way. This is very, very powerful, especially for Unity, as everything is updating constantly in Unity, and sometimes we need things that aren't going to the speed of the update or other things that are happening. So we need these type of functions or methods that run themselves independently. So that's where coroutines come into play. So we're gonna start, and this coroutine is gonna be public because we're gonna need to access it from other scripts. And always before writing a coroutine, you start with this I enumerator. Every time you see that in C#, that's a coroutine. Okay, and this is gonna be named set dialog text, or just set dialog, easy. Okay, and what is gonna be the parameter, the argument that we're gonna pass to this method? What is this going to write? It's gonna write a message, so we need a string. Okay, great. So there it is, and as you can see, we're getting an error because this isn't a function, a normal method, a normal function. This is a coroutine, and coroutines need yields at the end. They need to yield return null. If they don't return anything, they need to yield return time if we want to wait for some time to pass. So for now, this one is gonna be set to yield return null. Just that for now. Okay, we're gonna change that later. So you see, the error went away. So we're gonna start here. And what do we need first? We need to know if we are inside our coroutine in other places of the game, of the code. So we're gonna set a variable of type boolean. Set is name is writing, and this is gonna be set to false by default. And when we go inside the coroutine, is writing is going to be true. This is a way of knowing if we are inside of it and other things can communicate with it. Okay, now we're gonna go into dialog text and into the text component, and we're gonna assign nothing. It has nothing at the beginning. It has nothing, and after having nothing, it's going to start writing the letters of the message we say. Okay, so then we're gonna start writing letter by letter. And how do we do that? With a loop, always with a for each loop we're gonna use in this case. Okay, so inside this for each loop we're gonna, okay, here, okay, we're gonna fix that there. Great. Okay, then inside this for each loop we're gonna say that there's gonna be a variable named character that is going to go inside the message variable to go counting each one and adding letter by letter. Okay, so how do we do that? We take the variable name dialog text, we go inside its text component, and then we're gonna make this math operation plus equal character, and now that's the way we are going to go adding letter by letter. But we can also say at which speed these letters are going to be adding each other. Okay, so let's try this for now. Let's see if this works for now. So we're gonna save this. So we're gonna call this coroutine, the set dialog coroutine, in the battle manager. Okay, so let's go here, and we need a variable for the battle dialog box, so we can call that method. So let's go into serialize field. This is gonna be of battle dialog box class. This is gonna be a battle dialog box. Great. Okay, so now let's go back into Unity. Let's go into the battle manager. Let's assign our battle dialog box. Let's drag it. There it is. Let's go and open back the script. Okay, so now we can use, now that we've assigned this variable, we can use the method that is inside the battle dialog box. Okay, the coroutine. But because this is a coroutine, we can run it in a normal way. So we're gonna revamp some things here in this script, the battle manager script. We're gonna refactor some things. So first we're gonna turn our set of battle method into a coroutine. Okay, so we can yield power into the other coroutine so we can execute inside of this one. Okay, so we're gonna go into IEnumerator, and this is gonna be named set of battle. Remember, this is gonna give you an error if you don't yield to anything. So who do we wanna yield to? We wanna yield to the battle dialog box and to the set dialog coroutine. Okay, so first we're gonna go and yield return, and here we're gonna call the battle dialog box. Which one? The set dialog. Great. And inside of it we're gonna set our dialog to with a string. Okay, this is the parameter, the argument that we have to pass to that one so it can start. So let's say we're gonna add a simple message right now: an enemy creature has appeared. Okay, so we're gonna add the semicolon, and we're gonna save this, and see, no errors. When we add the yield, this is gonna give you no errors. So now we need to call the coroutine in the start method. Okay, so how do we call a coroutine? We start with a start coroutine, open parentheses, we call the name of the coroutine. This would be set of battle, and there it is. So we call this in this way. So we're gonna save this, we're gonna go back into Unity, and we should see the message an enemy creature has appeared when we run the game. Okay, so we're gonna save this, we're gonna push the play button, and we're gonna wait. So it loaded, and we can't see anything yet because we haven't edited the appearance of the text, but there it is. So let's go and stop this. Let's select our battle dialog text, and let's start fixing it, okay, to see it in the right way. So we're gonna move this to here. We're gonna scale it to the size we want. Okay, right around there. Okay, now we're gonna change the font to Pixelary. We're gonna go into the color. We're gonna put white, and we're gonna say this is going to be like 26. Okay, we'll try with 26. If we need to change it, we're gonna do it later. Okay, so now we're gonna go back and push play again, and we're gonna see our message. Let's push play. Let's wait, and there it is. An enemy creature has appeared. So now we've got the method that is passing the text, but we want the letter by letter. So let's go back into editing that. Let's go into the battle dialog box script, and now here is where the coroutine gets interesting, because it's going to have its own independent time inside the coroutine. Okay, so how do we do this? Let's go into the, let's see if we go inside the loop, or we go outside. No, we're gonna do it inside the loop. Okay, yes, inside the loop. So we're gonna yield return new, and this is where it gets interesting. Wait for seconds. We can use the time, the real time, the world time, to wait for things before another things start happening. We're gonna say we're gonna wait 1 divided by this value that we're gonna assign, characters per second. Okay, so we haven't created these variables, so we're gonna do that here. A public float characters per second, so we can set it from the inspector if we see it's too fast or too slow. So let's add this semicolon here. Let's save this, and now we've got the functionality. Now we can erase this. Now we've got the functionality to write letter by letter. Okay, so let's say right now characters per second is, let's try 10. Okay, so we're gonna save this. We're gonna go back into Unity. Let's go into the inspector, into battle dialog box. We're gonna say characters per second. We're gonna set this to 10. Let's see how it works. If it's too slow, it's too fast. Let's see how it works. Okay, so we're gonna set the button to play, and let's see, an enemy creature has appeared, and that looks really cool. Right now we're building something that looks like something. Okay, so it's a bit slow, so we're gonna stop this, and we're gonna say we're gonna try 30. So we're gonna play this. An enemy creature has appeared. That looks much better. Okay, so now we've got something working. So we really don't want this to say an enemy creature has appeared. We want it to say the name of the creature. Okay, so now we're gonna go on building the health bar of the enemy, so we don't get the error we were getting back. So we can start passing in the battle manager. We can start passing the values of the name and the level and the health bar of the enemy. Okay, so we're gonna go and do that right now. First, we're gonna go back into the battle manager. We're gonna move this line. Okay, this line, I'm gonna cut it, and I'm gonna move it after setting up the enemy creature, because this happens first and this happens after that. Because if this happened before this one, we're gonna get an error when we add the name of the creature, because we haven't set it up yet. Okay, so this has to happen first. Okay, so we're gonna uncomment these two lines, because this is going to happen now. We're not gonna get an error because we're gonna assign the health bar for the enemy. So we're gonna set this up on this order. We're gonna go and save this. We're gonna go back into Unity, and we're gonna get the health bar of the HP bar full, all the object from the player. We're gonna duplicate it, Control D, Command D in Windows. This is gonna be dragged into the enemy HUD. We're gonna move it to there. We're gonna correct this because we haven't corrected these names. This is gonna be the enemy name. This is gonna be the enemy level. Okay, I really don't remember if I already had corrected these ones, or it was until now. But maybe when I undid something, I lost that. But uh, check that you have that correct info there. So now we've got the HP bar for the enemy. We're gonna erase this number one. We don't need that because we are inside the enemy, and we're gonna assign the 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 variables. Okay, so let's go into HP bar full. It has its own assigned variable. Let's go into enemy HUD, and enemy HUD is asking for a health bar. Which one? This one. Okay, so we duplicated that one, but we can't see it because it's on top of the player one. So let's select it and let's bring it to where we need it. Okay, great. Okay, so now we're gonna go and assign this. It's that's already built. Everything is working for now. So we should get no errors when we hit play right now. Okay, so let's hit play, and an enemy creature has appeared and no errors. Great, we can continue. Let's stop this. Now let's go back into the battle manager, and now we're gonna be using the name of the creature we are encountering. Okay, so how does this work? Remember, in the battle HUD we are using the name. It works just like that. Okay, let's go back into the battle manager, and we're gonna open here curly brackets, and we're gonna say this is gonna be an enemy unit, and inside the enemy unit it's gonna be a creature. Inside the creature it's the base, and inside the base we're getting the data of the name. And now we're gonna save that, and now we go back into Unity, and we should see the message with the name of the enemy we are encountering. Okay, so let's go back into Unity. Let's wait for it to compile. Let's zoom in, and let's go and press play, and we should get the message that we want. Okay, with no errors in the bars or anything. Okay, so let's press play, and there it is. A Strix Marauder creature has appeared, working great. So this was a mouthful, lots of information, but this is already working. This is looking good. Now we need to add the attacks, we need to add the buttons, but we are going to do that in the next video. Thanks for watching. See you when we are going to continue building this cool battle system. Okay, bye-bye.
If I had $1 for every time that my life took a sour turn, I'd be rich and rolling baller and hollering at your girl. I'd be making little money and spending it like I'm rich. I'd be making bad decisions and thinking that I'm the